I'm Allie Cartwright, and this is Q and Allie. You've got questions, and I've got insight. And this week, I wanted to talk to you all about the duality of depression and some tips for mitigating your own depression when you start to feel yourself in a downswing. So, 2020 has been a very interesting year, full of lots of activity, but also lots of downtime. And anybody who has clinical depression has had increased challenges this year in dealing with that. So it's a weird thing. And when I talk about symptoms and feelings with depression, please note that it's my depression. Everybody's is different. So the way that depression manifests for me isn't going to be the same as your friend or your cousin. You get what I mean. So I was thinking a lot this week about the duality of depression, the sort of weird paradox that exists when you're in a depressive state, because you can be like really good and really bad at the same time. You can be thinking about how like you're actually like this really awesome person who does this and this and this and has all this worth and is loved by so many people, and at the same time, well, that you're having that thought in one part of your brain, another part of your brain's going, yeah, that might be true, but so what, you're still worthless. And you feel that even though you recognize it as illogical. I literally was having a thought like that earlier this week, and I had even texted with a friend about it because I was like, this is ridiculous. How can I both acknowledge all of these wonderful things about myself as truth and yet still feel worthless? It's so weird. And it actually helped to kind of laugh about it. But I think one of the things that's really important to understand with living with depression is that it's not about defeating depression. It's not about trying to find constant happiness. It's about adjusting your perspective and your expectations to recognize that we're supposed to have ups and downs. It's human. And that you can get into a space of acceptance with the downs that make them not quite so toxic when you don't fight them quite as hard. I found that when I really, really just kind of allow it, but then also try to be really like mindful about what are good choices I could make and whether or not I'm actually going to make those choices, and being okay with that, even if there is like some healthy choice I really feel like I should make and I know I'm not going to, being okay with that because I know I just don't have the energy for it at the moment. So yeah, there's a really interesting paradox. You can be both full of energy and have no energy to do anything. I think that's one of the reasons that anxiety goes really hand in hand with depression. It's because you can then spend lots of energy being anxious while doing nothing. So it's really an interesting thing. And I just felt like it needed to be voiced that you can be someone who's depressed and still be a really happy person. Like, you can be sad and happy at the same time. They're not mutually exclusive. And being open about the fact that you are depressed with yourself is something that I find is really hard for a lot of people. They make excuses about why they shouldn't be depressed when they are. Sort of, kind of this underlying shame thing. And the more honest you can be with yourself, the better. The more you can really lean into every single truth that you notice about yourself and get curious about it and how you can adjust it, really is an amazing freedom. So for our meditation moment this week, I wanted to go over a meditation that's really helpful when you start to feel yourself in a downswing and you just feel like your vibration of your energy is getting low and could really use a pick-me-up. This is something that can really, really, really help raise your vibration in a way where you're not fighting your depression, you're understanding it. And coming to terms with what is real about it and what isn't, what is a story you're telling yourself and what is a story you can tell yourself. So this is a really basic meditation. What you're going to do is you're going to get yourself all settled in, you're going to take your beginning breaths and get relaxed and whatnot, and then you're going to focus in on the very center of your being, the very core of your being, and you're going to pick up on that spark that is right at the core of your being, because no matter how low your vibration gets, you're still part of the energetic whole, the energy that is everything. You know, we're all one in that everything is just one big thing of energy. So you are always, always, always connected to that spark and to that perfect vibration of the universe. So you tap into that truth right there at the core of your being, and you see it as a little spark of light. And then as you breathe, as you inhale, I want you to see that spark of light grow. And then as you exhale, it grows a little more, like a flickering flame, just growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're going to keep doing this, taking these really mindful breaths to grow that flame, that beautiful light within you. And you're going to see it getting bigger and bigger, and it's going to fill your whole chest, and then it's going to surround your whole body, and it's going to fill your whole energetic field, and then it's going to fill the whole room, and then it's going to fill your whole house and your property and your town, and then it's going to fill your county and your state, or however the lines are divided where you live, and your country and your continent and the whole world. And just allow this light to just shine so brilliantly and so outwardly that your vibration is just naturally attuned to it as a whole. And you're helping attune the whole world to that vibration. You're inviting everything in existence to join you in that perfect vibration, that understanding and that awareness of that perfect vibration. So that's a really, really, really good way to just naturally bring up your energetic vibration, which can really help you handle your depression in a healthier way, and it can also help combat your depression, because we really do have amazing power over our body with our minds. We don't quite know how to control it. That's something that we haven't discovered yet, but we know that, placebo effect. I talk about this all the time. The placebo effect is literally proof that the mind can alter the body. So by this, you can actually change your brain chemistry through energy work, but it's a little bit hit and miss on how to go about it. So it can be different for everybody, and we don't really know exactly how we do it. We just know good ways to go about tuning into that idea. So raising your energetic vibration is a great way to start. So for our mindful moment this week, this is just about drawing awareness to the fact that our reactions and our instant perceptions of things are not always reality, especially when we're feeling in a downswing of a depressive state. So I just wanted to bring up being really aware of how you are judging things that come across, and what you're telling yourself that is true and what is just sort of depression-induced drama. Because we tell ourselves stories, and when we're in a more depressed state, it's easy to focus on more depressed ideas. And so we focus in on what could be true to fit that narrative. And when we really shine a light on it and allow ourselves to be aware of the fact that we are in a negative headspace and see what is just a story and what's really, really true, it can help a lot. Especially if you happen to be a bit of a drama queen like myself. And it can be really hard to admit that you are putting a skewed perspective on things, because I feel like we try so hard to be perfect for ourselves, which is really silly because we don't expect it of others. We just expect it of ourselves, I think, for the most part. So allowing yourself to be okay with it is part of it. And it just takes practice. For our mantra moment this week, every moment there is joy. And I love joy mantras because I love thinking about the fact that joy and happiness are two very distinct things, because you can be joyful without being happy. Joy is not about being happy, it's about being content and at peace and accepting of where you are. And when you can find joy in the challenges, it's really amazing how much your life can shift and how much easier it is, how much you just naturally flow into alignment and find a space where you can be healthier and find more happiness more often. Not that we should be happy all the time, because we really shouldn't. We have to have a range, a spectrum of emotions to traverse in order to really have perspective and appreciation, and in order to learn and grow. But there's joy in everything. There's not happiness in everything, but there is joy in everything. So repeating this mantra to yourself, really setting that truth inside of your body, and telling your subconscious, this is something I want to focus on, is an amazing gift that you can give yourself, especially when you are feeling more depressed than usual. Okay, my lovelies, that is it for this week. This has been another episode of Q and Allie. I'm Allie Cartwright. Go out there and try some of these tricks if you are feeling a little depressed. Notice how you are taking in information, bringing awareness to what your mind is doing, and helping guide it to do what you really want it to do. And leaning into all of the joy that life has to offer, even when you don't really feel good, is a beautiful, wonderful thing. So go out there, and as always, live fully, laugh lots, and love yourself.